Good afternoon and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I am your host, Michelle Dawsberg, and as always, I am super excited to be here. We want to give thanks that we are here for today, and I'm super excited about my guest. But before I introduce my guest, I want to thank all the new listeners. Thanks, everybody, for checking this out. Let me give you a little background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. It's all about creatively collaborating to connect and raise awareness regarding issues that impact us as women. And we do it by way of community service engagement, public speaking, mentoring, workshops, and the arts. And we have been doing this particular platform here. This is our sixth season, so we're super excited. And the names of people and the guests that we have an opportunity to talk to has not diminished. It only continues to get better. And for that, we give thanks, and we're so excited for the conversation that we're going to have today. Today, my person is so phenomenal. I need 2 hours to cover everything that she's done, and she's only going to keep going. Today's topic is a lady named Pearl. My guest today is Pearl Fee-Ame Graham. Pearl, welcome. How are you? Oh, you are so welcome. You are so deserving of everything, Pearl. I wanted to take a moment to give you your flowers now, just before you start to do anything else more beautiful, more influential. I wanted to take some time to give you this platform and just talk with you and just share and see how things are going with you, because I think you're an inspiration to not just Black women, but to all women. I want to say that. Pearl, let's just jump right in, right? Born and raised in Miami, correct? With Haitian parents?
Yes, that is correct. And thank you for that compliment. But yes, that is correct. First generation Haitian American. My parents came in the 70s, to the United States.
Mm-hmm. Tell me life in Miami. What was it like for you as a kid in the neighborhood in Miami?
Man, it was tough, Michelle.
Was it?
Tough.
Why?
Well, there were 2 Haitian families on our block, and I'm gonna just keep it 100.
Yeah,
the Caribbean people say Black Americans, you know what I'm saying, versus, anyway, we would get bullied a lot, from African Americans for being Haitian. So my childhood was very rough.
Wow.
To the point where I stopped talking Creole. You get what to try to assimilate with the African American community. So I would say from that perspective, it kind of made me go inside. It wasn't until I got to high school and college that I became, more confident. But just, the stereotypes that the media shows and kids don't know any better. And sometimes adults don't either. So my childhood was a bullying childhood.
I'm so sorry to hear that, because I always thought, Pearl, that Miami was a hub for Caribbean people, for families, right? Not only just for Haitians, but Cubans, Dominicans, Jamaicans, because it is the first entry point into the United States from the Caribbean. So I just assumed, and that it would be more of a cohesive, family or at least friendly environment in Miami. Man, and it wasn't. They made fun. They didn't understand, because they didn't understand,
They didn't understand, and then I think there's pockets of concentrated Haitians.
Yes.
And the pocket that I was in wasn't as concentrated. And I think over the years it's gotten better.
Yes.
And I think when it comes to the Caribbean, Haiti just always gets a bad rap. We always get put, I don't know. And I don't know if it's because we're the first Black republic to gain our independence that we've been kind of a target.
Wow.
But I would say that it's gotten so much better.
Yes.
Haitians are more confident. I don't think we were as confident in the 80s. So it's gotten way better, and I can understand why you would think that. But in my neighborhood, we got bullied.
Oh man, I'm sorry. So let's talk a little bit about how did we start modeling then, right? Because if people are bullying you and not being fair and being kids and doing all that, where did you get the confidence or the wherewithal to even decide modeling? Did you start at 15? Is that where it started for you?
I started when I was 15 and I was hanging out with a friend, and you know how you go to the mall and then you have these different recruiters in the mall. So They recruited both of us,
Uh-huh.
and it was a modeling school actually. And I just thought my parents were going to say no, just because it was 8 of us in a 3-bedroom home, that
Wow.
whole thing,
Yeah.
and we had to focus on bills. But for some reason, they said yes, because modeling schools can be a little expensive. That's why I made sure mine wasn't super expensive, because I want everyone to be able to get that kind of training. But yeah, I brought the brochure home to my parents, and I thought they were going to say no for sure, because there was field trips that I missed out on and different things like that, just because of financial reasons. But they sat down. My mom and dad had a meeting, and then they said, we're going to do this. And I'm the youngest of 8.
Wow.
So I had a sister sending money from the military for me to do it. My father would bring me to class every other week. So it was kind of a family investment for me to become a model. I guess they felt that was my path. But my mom also said, I'm taking you to the school not to be a model, but to refine you, as a lady. So yeah, so that's why they invested.
Man, so that's awesome. So then you're modeling, you're going to the school. When did you get your first modeling opportunity, Pearl?
Wow. So once I graduated from the school, they usually have you walk in front of all of these agents, and the agents were like, nope, too heavy. No, so I didn't get any modeling opportunities after the school. And then I said, well, I guess I'm not a model, Wait
a minute. They said you were too heavy?
Yeah, this was in high school. This was in high school. I was too heavy,
Oh.
So I was like, well, I guess I'm not a model. Boom, let me just continue with my life. I learned how to put on makeup. I learned how to walk. These are things that I can just, carry in my everyday life.
Right.
And then when I got to college, I had lost like maybe 15 pounds. You know how they have the freshman 20? I went the other way. And then it was like I couldn't go anywhere without anybody telling me, why aren't you modeling? Why aren't you modeling? So then I started in college doing like those swimsuit calendar type things. And then after I graduated and then I joined, a modeling troupe. And then when I graduated from college, I signed to my first agency in Miami, which is called Ethnicity Models. And their focus, they did a lot of music videos, a lot of this and that, but I still didn't feel like that was the right fit for me. And then while I was there, a photographer for Ebony Magazine saw me rapping on a platform called MySpace. And he was just like, why are you rapping? Why aren't you modeling? And I felt, I've tried getting with Ford, with the lead. They said no. I'm with this agency called Ethnicity. And he was like, well, I think Ebony Magazine would love you. Would you be interested in me sending your pictures? They have a tour called, the Ebony Fashion Fair tour. So he did just that. He sent my pictures to Eunice Johnson, who's the, basically the head of Ebony Fashion Fair. And then they sent me a ticket to do an audition, and then I auditioned, and then they hired me right on the spot. And, the next day I was on a 200 city tour.
Wow.
Doing runway shows 5 days a week.
Awesome. And how did that feel, Pearl, having that experience? Was mind blowing, right? Because you went from zero
to break. I felt like I got a break. I was like, whoo, God just open the door.
Yes.
I got a break, because I had been, trying to figure out my way, because I had a college degree, but I didn't want to be, necessarily sitting at someone's desk. So I was trying to figure my way out. But it was a break, but it was challenging for me the first month, just traveling like that. Yeah. And being as sensitive as I am. I just felt like, dark spirits, girl, not to but just when you're in a different hotel room every day, if you have a sensitive spirit, it takes a while to kind of get, acclimated. And then the other piece that I want to share with people is that I actually got let go from the tour. And I was looking through my scrapbook, and I remember I got my first letter about my weight. So when you get signed on to Ebony Fashion Fair, so when I got signed on, I was 129 pounds.
Yes.
And they don't want you to gain no more than 5 pounds over, or no more than 5 pounds under.
Yes.
So you got to stay within like a 10-pound range, because Miss Johnson has you wearing like these $10,000 gowns, you know, Oscar de la Renta. That's what made her. She would go to Paris and write these $10,000 checks for one dress.
Yeah.
So it's easier to replace a model
than it is the dress.
To have a model busting the seam, you know, out of a $10,000 dress. And I remember they sent me a probation letter.
Ooh.
And the way that it happened really is that, and this is how you got to protect your mind. So I remember when I went to Miami, my brother came to see me at the show. And he didn't, at the end of the show, you know, he met me backstage. He didn't say, great job, Michelle. He didn't say, he said, you look like a skeleton, right? Oh. So that went into my head. And at the next stop, I just kept eating. When I should have said, well, shoot, I'm supposed to look like a skeleton on a model, you know? But I didn't have that strength mentally. And I just kept eating and I couldn't get off of that, yo-yo. So I ended up, you know, I got dropped off the tour, and that, Michelle, was like, I felt like my life was going backwards. Like everybody that told me I couldn't make it, I couldn't do it, you know, like they were right, you know? So it was like, man, that was a big fall for me, but then it also taught me how to protect my mind. And don't allow, you know, anyone to kind of impress their thoughts on you. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going. Just stay focused. So it was actually a blessing for me because now when I'm doing something, you can't tell me. You get what I'm saying? Like anything, because I know what the consequences are for that.
We feel your strength in everything that you do, Pearl. And now this is great because now we know where it comes from, right? We know where it comes from, and we know why the modeling school is so important to you too. We're going to talk about that in a second. So you got dropped from the tour. So how did we end up coming to Atlanta? Are we in Atlanta at this point while we're doing Ebony Fashion Fair? Where are we?
Well, Ebony goes all around. Oh, no. I was in Miami. Yeah. And then, you know, they go all around the country, the United States, Canada. I got let go when we was in LA. I was like, what the heck? In LA? So, and then they give you a plane ticket. They was like,
goodbye.
Go home and stay where you at.
Yeah, goodbye.
So I was like, I got like my resources together. But anyway, long story short, when I left, or when the situation ended with Ebony, I ended up going to a temp agency in Miami, and they sent me to this place called Fisher Island. Fisher Island is nothing but millionaires that stay there. I didn't even know about this place until, you know, I got there. But Oprah had a place there. She had just left when I got there. Oprah producer had just brought a place. So I was able to, you know, develop a relationship with her. Just, you know, Jamie Foxx was looking to buy a place there. So I got introduced to real estate working there. I was the assistant to the broker there, and I did that for 2 years while I was studying for the GMAT. And the GMAT is, you know, an entry exam for you to get your MBA. So getting my MBA took me to Atlanta. So I ended up going to Clark Atlanta University to get my MBA, and that's what brought me here. And while you're doing that, wasn't it music that kind of brought you here too, Pearl, at the time? Yes. So if y'all really want to get in my business, when I started working at Fisher Island, I met one of the residents there, and you know, he was, you know, like trying to pursue me. So basically, I was going to LA to get my MBA because I was still stuck on this whole, like, okay, there's film there, there's all of these different things. But he was like, well, Atlanta has music, you know, we'll be closer, boom, boom, boom. So I came to Atlanta for my MBA as well as music. Yeah.
And were you a hip hop artist, a singer? What were you doing when you came to Atlanta? What were your goals musically?
Well, my goals musically, to be quite honest, Atlanta's 2 rounds. So my first goal when I got to Atlanta in 2006 was just really getting my MBA because I wanted to be a good student. So I wasn't focused on music, even though that was in the back of my mind. I was actually going to become a normal person, like, you know, like, that's why I went and got the MBA to see, you know, let me just position myself in business.